Okay, hey, what is going on, guys? If you're listening to this on podcast or watching this on YouTube or Facebook, welcome. And today I have two very special guests, Sebastian and Chris. Now, a very quick intro with who these fine gentlemen are. Sebastian's from Germany, and he specializes in e-commerce and Facebook. Chris lives in Vancouver with me. Well, we don't live together, okay? We're not roommates or anything, but we managed to meet each other through a mutual friend, and we kind of kicked things off. And turns out he was a internet marketer, e-commerce agency, and all that stuff. Very involved with the scene. So it's really good to meet these hustlers locally. And one day I wish to meet Sebastian in person as well. But this is definitely the first step seeing you in real life. So what we're gonna do in this video is actually gonna be something very different. So you guys know that my channel is very focused towards Amazon FBA. However, these guys have done something that I think a lot of us want to do eventually, but not right now, or maybe some of you guys are already pursuing that right now. And that is to actually build a e-commerce brand off of Amazon. So they don't actually, their focus is not on Amazon. Their focus is more on e-commerce side of things. So your traditional Shopify, influencer marketing, driving ads using Facebook, retargeting, all that type of stuff. And they were actually able to do over $750,000 in 3 months of sales or something like that. It was roughly around that range. So what I want to do today is actually invite these fine gentlemen onto the show and talk to us about kind of a case study. In fact, we're actually going to share the brand as well. So that's going to be something that's a little bit different because Amazon sellers are like, oh, this is my brand. No one can, I don't want anybody to know. I'm included. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a complete case study of how they found the product. Okay, we're going to share that with you. We're going to share with you their brand. We're going to share with you their marketing strategies. And stay tuned because at the end, we have a very special way to help you guys as well if you guys are trying to achieve the same thing. So anyway, welcome to the show, Sebastian and Chris. How are we doing today?
Great. Awesome.
And you as well, Sebastian? I assume you're doing pretty well.
Thanks for asking, and thanks for the great introduction.
Okay, awesome. So let's get started with maybe a quick 1-minute intro of how you even got into the space in the first place. Maybe Chris, we'll start with you and then we'll move to Sebastian. Just maybe a quick cliff note of your life thus far.
Yeah, perfect. So 5 years ago, we both of us, I believe, we quit our jobs and we started our own stuff, and we went straight into affiliate marketing, doing display ads. There was a lot of struggles back then because, we didn't know anything and tried a lot of stuff, pushing gaming apps, some crazy stuff like iPhone sweepstakes. And Sebastian and I got together because he was definitely the smarter one and I had the money. So we were using each other and we're still using each other.
Now Sebastian's the smarter one and he's got the money.
Yeah. I got to catch up. So basically we went into affiliate marketing and I got a direct offer with one of the billion-dollar companies in town, and I was able to craft a profitable campaign for the first time within 5 months. And then we went into e-commerce, basically Amazon, because one of our good friends, his name's Dat, he basically had a hair growth product line, and we wanted to learn about Amazon. So we went straight into Amazon, doing PPC and all that stuff for him. And eventually we started our own Amazon bestseller. And from then on, we basically okay, well, Amazon has all of our customers' data. How do we resell to them? And how do we capitalize on all our ad spend and all of our time and effort? So we thought of going into Shopify using Facebook ads, right? Because we already had a background with affiliate marketing, doing ads on Facebook and whatnot. So that's how we basically transitioned into Facebook. From then on, I did a lot of drop shipping and eventually started our own brand. And fast forward a few years, now here we are and running an agency helping other e-commerce companies do the same thing.
Awesome. Sebastian, yourself?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of overlap in our history because we pretty much started doing this entire online marketing journey together. We met on an internet marketing forum where Chris posted some questions about HTML. I felt like helping him. And we developed a relationship, a friendship, and eventually a business relationship together. My personal background is in copywriting. That's how I got started. After I finished university, I started out as a freelance copywriter. And I taught myself some SEO and analytics. So I knew my path was going straight into online marketing. I just didn't know how I would approach it, right? Because I'm not really built to work for someone else. I need to work for myself. So going from freelancing for a while into exploring affiliate marketing, meeting Chris, and then we started doing Amazon. And from there on, we started branching, as Chris said, into e-commerce, doing Shopify, doing drop shipping, doing private labeling, exploring the entire side of sourcing, as you know very well, right? Like, how do you source products from China, get them over here, quality control? There's a lot of learning overall, but it was a very positive experience and very worthwhile, especially financially.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to say one thing before we get into this. Like, what a great time to be alive. Just straight up. I mean, you can meet someone on a freaking internet forum and now develop like 6, 7, 8-figure business eventually. Just like, I mean, this opportunity has never existed. Just meeting someone across the world and hitting it off and developing a business together. It's crazy.
Yeah, you have unparalleled access to all these resources, right? Through the internet, like all this stuff that you couldn't do before. Like right now, you can open up a Facebook ad account and start advertising to billions of people, right? Like imagine 20 years ago, such a concept didn't even exist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm pretty sure the entire Vancouver has. I get stopped every day now, pretty much, thanks to you guys. Because we'll talk about that later. Anyway, okay, well, let's jump into the meat of this presentation. So most of my audience are Amazon sellers, and a lot of them love. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Amazon, and I know that they do as well. Even though sometimes we get caught up in this, we're like we need to be more grateful for Jeff Bezos. Okay, like he's changed all of our lives. Having said that, we don't want to be comfortable. We always want to kind of step it up. And for the beginners that are listening to this, and for the intermediate under 100K a month, just focus on Amazon. Like you don't need to do all this type of stuff, because a man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. So just focus on Amazon, creating that cash flow. Once you create that cash flow, then you can invest into other channels, right? But this is good for you to know. But for those of us who are maybe doing a little bit better in numbers, and we really want to start building a real brand now, and that's something we're going to be focusing on today's conversation. So why don't one of you, whoever want to take the lead, talk to us about this e-commerce. So Beloved Beauty, how did this come about? How did you guys even found the product at the first place?
Yeah, that's interesting because it was an interesting transition at that point. We already had some experiences private labeling products, so we knew what to do. But this product basically we saw on the internet. Like we always kind of scouting and looking for new ideas. And then one day I just came across this Facebook ad done by basically my competitor. And we always had a strategy of pushing something that's popular in North American countries or English speaking geos, and take them to somewhere where that's there's less exposure. So that was always our specialties, especially Sebastian's residing in Germany, and he's a copywriter German. So he's very good at what he does, and whatever that we brought from basically US or Canada into Germany at that time, and basically in the past few years have been very successful. There's almost never really any situation where we had a failed campaign. So pretty much I saw something that is super exciting and new to the market, and we private labeled it and brought it to Germany.
What was the product?
Oh, it was a pink clay mask.
Okay, a pink clay mask. For the guys that are listening to this, what the hell is that? Just take 2 seconds and go on Google. You know exactly what I mean. Okay, it's a mask. It's a clay. The color of it's pink. And it's a mask. But women, that's it, right? Women put it on their face, and it's supposed to make their face look smoother and all that type of stuff. Anyway, so correct me if I'm wrong. You went on Facebook and you saw your competitor running this campaign. You're like, that's an interesting product. It caught your attention.
Correct.
So how important do you think a product is, the actual product, in running a overall Facebook campaign, based on what you guys are doing? How important is it?
So in terms of importance, not just in terms of Facebook campaign, if you want to have a business, your product has to be good, right? It has to be good. We have run into too many scenarios where product wasn't that great, and it just kind of ruins your payment processors, ruins your customer relationships. And, obviously that does not help in sales. So when you have a very unique, special product that solves a problem, it's super valuable because people will be looking for that type of product online, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can you talk to us a little bit about what makes the pink clay mask attractive to you guys? I mean, there's so many different types of skincare products. What was it about the pink clay mask that you guys were like, whoa, this is it?
Yeah.
What are some of the factors?
Okay, perfect. I'll speak for my own sort of opinion first, and then Sebastian can add on to it. So I thought the color pink was obviously something that was unique, right? We always kind of seek some kind of a viral factor to a product, something that you see, or if you just picture yourself scrolling on Facebook. what would stop you in the track, right? And make you look, right? A paint clay. And the way that our competitor was advertising was very engaging as well. So we knew right away that this was something that would work. So that's kind of my take, and I'll let Sebastian go with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you added great points. For me, in addition to that, like what I always look for is a problem solution dichotomy. So like I don't like to start with offers or develop offers that do not address a specific problem. And for this pink clay mask, the problem it addressed was, for example, if you're combating with acne or pimples, or you have like enlarged pores, that's the product to use. And you have a lot of products that offer a solution to something. But for example, if you look at the supplement space, right, there's so many products that do address a problem and provide a solution, but they're all very similar to each other. So if you want to introduce a new product to the market, ideally you're differentiating on some dimension that is either the design of the product, the price of the product, or the function of the product. And for us, the design was new because there are clay masks on the market, but there's no clay mask using the special ingredients that we have and that is presented in a very non-standard way. Like most clay masks either have like this grayish color or brownish color. They do not look very attractive. And ours is very differentiated by design, by looking very attractive and fresh. As Chris said, if you saw it on Facebook, you would stop scrolling and at least check it out. So those are the kind of model we run through whenever we are looking at a new product.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So you guys found the product. You guys kind of went through with it. Now, can you touch base on, I mean, we're not going to touch base too much on this. Just maybe give us an overview, but like, how did you source the product? Where did you guys source it? How did you start contacting suppliers?
That's right. Yeah. So pretty much with everything I see on Facebook or anywhere, right? Like trend hunters or whatever, like wherever you find like cool product ideas, even Amazon, like I go straight onto Google or like Amazon, right? And then I'll type in, you know, there's certain categories where, I mean, the criteria where we look for example, like what does the search demand? Just like Amazon, right? You're trying to find a good product, you go into Google Keyword Planner and, you know, search up that keyword and see how many searches there are per month. I mean, we also came from the kind of like Amazon background. So the process of product selection is quite similar in certain senses. And then basically we just gauge the demand by using Keyword Planner, Google Trends, and then we go into Alibaba or Google, or if you know somebody, right, obviously talk to someone who's good at sourcing, right, because that's going to be of a lot of help. But for us, we just went with Alibaba and tested a few suppliers, and essentially we found a few very similar products, but one just stood out. And we ended up going with that one. And then they were pretty cool. They let us have like an MOQ of 200 units to start. So there was so little risk. And all we had to pay for was the designer. And then the website just didn't really cost much, right? So pretty much we look at the margin, that the margin was pretty good. It's about like 60 to 70%. Forgot exactly what the number was. And that was it. And then we have a fulfillment center set up. It's pretty straightforward stuff, I think.
Right. Nothing out of the ordinary, just your standard sourcing and finding the products and getting 3PL done and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you're talking to, right? For a lot of your listeners, they're probably pretty experienced in just like importing and getting the stuff into a warehouse, which is also, you know, Amazon, just another fulfillment center, right? So similar process, right?
Okay, awesome. So why don't we do this? Let's get into the meat of this conversation is how do we make money from the pink clay mask? Yeah. How did you guys do what you guys did?
Sure. I'll start with the creative front. So, you know, in order to have a successful Facebook campaign, you obviously need to have a good margin. You need to have a good average order value. You need to have a sales page that converts really well. And you need to have the correct cross sells and upsells. If you want to have repurchase, you also need to have a very good email campaign. But besides all that, okay, you obviously need great creatives because that's what drives people to your sales page. So that's what we really focus on in the beginning. And the way that we do that is by having constant creative production by using micro influencers. So a lot of times when you think of influencer collaborations, people think, oh, I have to pay like 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 for celebrities or like someone who is well known. It's like, sure, you can do that. If you have the type of budget in the beginning and you know what you're doing, or you know someone that knows what they're doing, right? That is in touch with your audience, then go ahead. But to us, it was a lot of risk in the beginning, especially just starting a new product, which is kind of like we know is going to work to a certain extent, but we don't know how successful it's going to be. And so we started dealing with micro influencers that essentially we got the idea from some of our agency competitors before we even became an agency, and we found certain agencies doing things a certain way, and then we got a lot of inspirations from them. And so micro influencers are very important. And Sebastian, I'll let you carry on.
I mean, from like a bird's eye perspective, like a bit lower resolution, what you're looking at is the audience, the creative. That's like one front, right? And the next front is your offer. That's the landing page. That's the cart. That's the checkout, right? And then beyond that, you have the back end, which is essentially like if someone purchased something, if you upsell them, if you downsell them, someone already purchased from you 4 months ago that you can resell to them, right? And from the Facebook end, the most important part is really like knowing who to target. And especially if you're starting from scratch on Facebook, like that's a new concept as an Amazon seller, right? Because on Amazon, you pretty much just benefit from already existing search traffic, right? Like you either bid on highly qualified search traffic with Amazon PPC, or you benefit from organic search. On Facebook, it's really attention platform, right? Like people are not looking for your product. They're not interested in your product. So you need to draw people into whatever you have to offer, right? So you want to, on the creative end, you want to launch creatives that are interesting, entertaining, most likely, that's predominantly important. But while being entertaining, educates the audience about your offer. When you're starting from scratch, you need to build these audiences up. That means you will target buyer demographics, you will target interests. And as soon as you have like a couple $100 in spend, you will be able to build audiences of the existing custom audiences you have, which on Facebook are called lookalike audiences. Let's say you have 1,000 buyers, you can build an audience of people that are similar to those buyers and then market to them. So the beginning is the most difficult part in a sense, but as soon as you build up some sales, it gets easier and easier over time because Facebook will learn who your buyers are and when to serve ads to them and what ads to serve to them, right? Because it's an algorithmically driven platform. But if you get those two pieces right in the beginning, that you understand that Facebook is an attention platform, like people are not looking for you. So you can't just run like here's an image ad of my product with some copy by here. Nobody's going to click that because they're not looking for you, right? You need to entertain.
No one goes on Facebook in the morning and be like, oh, I want to buy something. Like people go on Facebook while they take their morning poop and they're like, oh, what's going on in the world today? I want to see some funny cat videos. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that's one thing that we have to really get ourselves out of. Yeah, it's critical to understand that. I mean, people go on Amazon to buy. There's only one reason why people go on Amazon is to buy things. That's why our conversion rate on Amazon is between 15 to 30%, even up to 40%, which is unheard of. What's like a typical conversion rate off of Amazon? Like a really good one.
Off of Shopify, because you just said Amazon.
Yeah, Shopify.
It pretty much depends on your product price. Like if you have impulse buy purchase, which is generally considered under $50, if you have a well-optimized landing page, you should see conversion rates around 3 to 5%. And if you go to like let's say you sell jewelry for $150, your conversion rates will dip below 2%. So it's drastically lower than Amazon.
Now, do you mind if I share my screen real quick to show people kind of your product?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see this.
Revealing us secrets.
All of it, man. All of it. All right. So paint clay mask. Here we go. All right. So this is the MVP. This is the first generation of the beauty sand.
Yeah, so you can see that a small one that is the first generation right there, 2 jars. The small one is like the very first one. It didn't come with a box. It looked very bare bone. It was kind of cute, right? But that's what we launched in the beginning.
Awesome. And then when sales started picking up, you decided to invest in packaging and things like that.
Well, essentially, like we increased the price. We're split testing the price. We added another $10 to the unit, right? It costed $10 more. And then if we found out that it worked, so we're like, okay, let's be ethical. Let's give them something better. Let's give them more content and more like a better package. And that's how we got the newer package.
Did you say let's be more ethical?
Yeah.
So charging $10 for just packaging is more ethical?
Well, no, there's actually more stuff in there too, right? You can see it's like considerably bigger.
Yeah. No,
like 30% more, like it's a lot more.
I love pulling Chris's legs. He's just funny. So these are some of the creatives. So can you maybe tell us what you did here? Because I think that a lot of people have trouble with this. Did you guys reach out to influencer yourself? Do you guys hire someone? And what kind of creatives did you ask them? Like, I mean, these are great images. So how did you like get this from them?
Yeah, you can go down like 2 slides, slide seven, go down 7. Yeah. And this
Okay.
is basically how we keep track of our influencers. We typically approach influencers that have less than, well, on Instagram, right? Less than 5,000 or 7,000 followers. And on YouTube, like you can aim at 15 to 20,000, and then most likely they won't charge you, and you just have to basically give out a free product, and then in return they will give you a picture, a video, or whatever. But obviously you need to tell them what you're looking for, right? While they, of course, they have to be authentic as well in their reviews and whatnot, right? Because we're not interested in anything that's fake. Like we just give them a guideline, and then they just go, okay, this is what I have to address, and then they will talk about their experience and whatnot, right? So if you actually go down like 1 slide to slide 8, yeah, so that's like an example of how we reach out to our micro influencers, right?
We have a dedicated employee handling influencer outreach. And in terms of what kind of creatives, like there's some staples you always want. Like first is like a demonstration of use. Like doesn't matter what your product is, right? Like if it's a pink clay mask, you want like at least a couple batches of footage of people mixing the mask, applying it to their face, right? Washing it off. So just so you can reuse it in ads for people that don't know your product, to explain to them what is the product, how do you use it, right? And the second batch you definitely want for cold traffic, but also for retargeting, is you want very honest reviews, like people really speaking about their experiences with the product. Has it helped them? And like as a product owner, you think you want nothing negative being said, but that's wrong. Like if they're like small quirks or qualms people have about the product, that's great, because it shows that the influencer speaking is being truthful and honest, right? For example, they could say, this product helped my skin and it was awesome, but the mixing was a bit tedious, right? But that's still a great review, and it adds value by being more truthful and honest. Like people would be less suspect of that than in comparison if it was like completely over the top praising review, right? You would go, I'm not sure if that's correct.
Right.
Tom, if you were to go down 1 slide and you can see some of the criteria that we ask of them. So this is us sending it to like a guideline, right, of what we're looking for. And then if they agree with that, then basically we'll just send out a free product, and we keep track of it using a Google Sheet, and basically let them know that we're looking for testimonials and reviews and videos within like 7 days or 14 days, right? So we keep track of it, and that's pretty much it, man.
Okay. So nothing, not rocket science, just a matter of identifying.
Yeah, and knowing what you want is very important, right? Like if you don't know what you want, like how do you expect that they will deliver the right product to you, right?
Right. Okay. So once we have the influencers, we have all the videos, we have all the creatives, then what?
The next step is to hopefully have a skilled video editor. If you don't, like it doesn't take that long to teach yourself some basic skills with tools like Premiere Pro. If you're an absolute newbie, start with Filmora. Yeah, Filmora is what it's called. Like it's like a beginner version video editing software. And you can easily, like within a day, create some videos yourself to start using on Facebook. Like you don't need to be an expert, or if you don't have the resources, you don't need to hire someone right away.
Right.
And then if you start out, you want to have at least 3 creatives for cold traffic and at least 1 or 2 creatives for retargeting. The difference is simply cold traffic is people that have no exposure to you or your brand. It means people that have never seen you before. And retargeting is people that have watched your video, been to your website, added to cart, all those kind of people. And in terms of structure, like you need to test a lot, and it depends on your product, right? Like I can't tell you how to structure your creative because I don't know what your offer is, like what product you're selling. But if you follow, like for cold, always demonstrate the product as best and as transparent as you can. Like don't try to make a commercial, like try to actually make a creative that has sort of honest feel to it. Like it borders towards amateurish, but it's not quite that. Like if you know what I mean. Like on Facebook, videos that feel like a commercial, like people reading off a script and all this stuff, doesn't do well. So it's fine if your creative has a bit of like a rough feel around it. Like it doesn't need to be overproduced. Like a lot of creatives, like we have creatives we spent over $100,000 on that we made for like $50, right? And that's all it takes really, because it's a social platform. It's not TV. And for your first creative, demonstrate the product being used, try to entertain people, but still try to educate them about the product. Like if you can sprinkle in some humor, or you can have an interesting influencer with a lot of personality that kind of carries your video, that's important. So like, you don't want your influencer to just read out a couple of lines. Like if they have a natural personality, which is especially true for YouTubers, you want to allow them to kind of like sprinkle it in there. Like if they're naturally humorous or they're kind of goofy, you want them to be goofy because it's entertaining, right? That's how they build their audience, even if they just have 5 or 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. And for retargeting, all you really need is like a video, let's say 30 seconds of someone speaking into the camera and reviewing their product. Like, I bought this product, blah, 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 and this is how it helped me. This is what I didn't like. That's all you need to start out with.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit more, maybe. Okay, so after that's done, then what?
After that's done,
Can you talk to a little bit about building the sales page? Essentially, you're using those Facebook ads to driving into a sales page, correct? Can you maybe talk to us about the few important components of the sales page and where they should be, how a sales page should look like?
So pretty much like on a sales page, the easiest thing to do, Tom, is actually go open your Chrome and type in trybelovedbeauty.com.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Actually show them.
Okay, I'm on it.
There we go. Okay, so on desktop, it looks kind of whatever, because we focus on mobile, as mobile gets like 99% plus of the traffic. I don't know, something like, 90 plus %. So this is just essentially the mobile version. And you can see that there are certain components that are pretty important. Like I would say emphasize on user generated content such as reviews and user photos. This is why we have we display all these like influencers, micro influencers photos, and some of them are actually customers. I'll let Sebastian talk about copies. Actually, copies are super important.
I mean, the general structure, like, it doesn't matter if it's like a software as a service business, an e-commerce offer, the general landing page structure is pretty much always the same. Like on the very top, you have your headline, then you have a hero image, or it could be a hero video, right? Like on mobile, you would see it more clearly because the headline is above, and then the image, and then you have the hero image, and then below that, you have a sub-headline that's talking more about the product, and then you have a content paragraph where you explain the benefits and the features of the product. Below that, you have more demonstrative use content. For example, like could be here, we explain the ingredients and what the ingredients do. And then we have like separation where we talk about the benefits again, like pimple-free skin in 10 minutes. And then we want to demonstrate that the product really works. So we use before and after images. Like if your product is something else, if the product helps you achieve a goal, you want to show people how, right? You want to show people that the product did indeed help people achieve the goal and how it did that. And then your buy box, like if you should always try to create bundles if you can. Like for example, this is just a product page for a single product, but as you can see, there's still 3 buy boxes, right? Because we just split it up into like you can buy 1, 2, or 3. And depending on how many you buy, you save. And like overall, like I think around 75% of people buy just the 1 beauty sand, but at least 25% of people that buy 2 or 3, right? And over time, like if you're driving hundreds and hundreds of purchases, this adds up very quickly and you make a lot more money per order than you usually would. And it doesn't add a lot more to your cost, right? Because the most costly part is acquiring that customer. If that customer spends more money, that's good for you. That's great for you. So you want them to spend as much as possible. You can also do, like, if you have several products, you can also bundle them together to buy like this beauty set and another product, right? Buy them together and save 10%. Generally does well. And below the buy box, what we have then is as much social proof as humanly possible. And for us, that's just we link our Instagram feed, and all those images are tagged. Like we have a special tag on Instagram, and it pulls images from Instagram with that tag and displays them here. As you can see here, right? Like those are not model grade photos. Like these are very natural photos like an actual user would make. And this is made by choice, right? Like this is purposeful. We could easily have images there of like models using the product, but in our experience, it doesn't really work well. And it also works in the favor of an entrepreneur, right? Because you don't need to have like this high production value stuff on your landing page and everywhere. That's usually very expensive. You don't need it because it doesn't really work as well. So it's like an upside on both ends. Below that, like sometimes when it applies, we have frequently asked questions. Like if someone is scrolls that far down on the page. Like maybe they're unsure if the product is for them. Like, I have this skin condition, can I use it? Like, how long does it last, right? They're worried about the value of the product. Like, it's not that cheap. Like, will it run out after like 2 weeks or so? And that pretty much wraps up the page. It doesn't matter on what landing page you go. You will always see like those elements are generally always the same. Like they might be a little bit mixed up, but this is like the structure, just like you would structure an essay or anything else.
Right. Like
you
intro.
See that the reviews are missing there, right? There's a reason why the reviews are not there, because this is our a new expansion into a different country, and our main page is actually in German. So I wanted to show you guys the English version of it, but on a German sales page, the reviews are actually there, and the way we actually structured our reviews very specific. You want to display like how many 5 stars you have, 4 stars, and 3 stars you have. For example, if you just show a review widget where it only shows the ratings of the product, for example, 5 stars, right? Someone can't see the distribution of how many 1 stars or 2 stars there are. And just think of the last time you guys went on Amazon to shop, right? You're always looking for the most shitty reviews to read first, right?
Right.
And if you are showing that the product is all 5 stars, it's like, okay, that kind of, it's a little suspicious, right? Is it like manufactured like that, or is it really that good? But if you do see like 1 or 2 stars, like right away, like it introduces to reality that some people actually didn't really like this product, right? But you have to be very careful about what you choose to display, because having some shitty 1 or 2 stars review that are truly shitty can hurt your sales, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's what I do on Amazon as well. I definitely take a look at the negative reviews. Okay. So that's cool. So yeah, you guys are definitely showing us a lot of the goodies. You got the sales page, you got the ads. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
We'll just show you some of the things that we test when we are running our campaign. So yeah, we tested sales price, bundle structure. Bundle structure, you saw on the sales page of the buy box, right? There's like 3 different price points. And then we have cross sells that are typically on the sales page or on the cart page. And obviously we tested, when you go on the website, there's a pop-up that says, oh, save 10% and enter your email here and whatnot. So we tested that as well and see how that affects our average order value, or how it affects our conversion rate. And then we have the post-purchase upsells. This is huge, right? If you're running a Shopify store and you don't have post-purchase upsells, like you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because you can easily increase your average order value by 10 to 20%, and also add to cart messages. This is weird, okay? Like a lot of people don't think this deep, but on add to cart, it's like this person is so close to buying your product. What can you do to push them to buy even more, right? For example, you can put something like 30-day money back guarantee just right underneath the buy button on the add to cart, okay? Like stuff like that, or like 100% money back guarantee, right? Just to like have that risk aversion, right, taken care of. Or you can put like trust badges, right? Or like fast delivery. I don't know what it is, right? Like just something that would push them down the funnel. Then you have
just like in the sales process, right? Like you want to anticipate objections and overcome them. That's what Chris is saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then the checkout page elements, like there's only so much you can do on Shopify if you don't go to like their most premium subscription. So that we used to play around with small things like, when you go to the checkout page, sometimes on top it shows your logo, right? It shows your brand logo. Where we would test, we'll have like 5 stars or like different type of messages to basically see if checkout conversion rate would go higher. But that's like kind of the nitty-gritty stuff. And then you have the sales page elements such as reviews, like I already talked about that, and the placement of pictures and videos. All right. And then sales copies. Sebastian talked about that. Hey, Sebastian, do you have anything to kind of expand on that topic, sales copies?
If I had to give like a brief summary, is to keep it very focused on the benefits and not the features. Like a lot of people, when they first build their product page, they focus a lot on like, what's the product made of? Like what are the feature that defines the product, right? Just like Amazon, right? Amazon is very feature oriented, which is fine because people are already in a buying mood. But if you have cold traffic from Facebook that is not very sure whether they need your product, want your product, right? You can't have very feature-oriented copy. You need benefit-oriented copy. And the difference is very easy. Like benefit is, what do I get out of it, right? Like if I buy your product, what do I get out of it, right? Like if I have problematic skin or if I want to lose weight, like benefit-oriented copy would show me as a cold user how I can use your product to get to my dream weight, right? How can I use your product to get control of my skin to finally get the dream date that I want, right? So you need to, depending on what kind of audience you're targeting, you need to understand what these people really want, like what they lack, what they desire, and kind of sell your product as a means to get to the desired state, right? To the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I would like advise to not focus very much on what makes your product different on a very abstract level, right? People don't care that this clay mask uses this type of ingredient, right? Like it's important if you're in the buying consideration phase, but if you're in the cold phase, it's not important. So you start off with the benefits, like the user transformation, and then below that you list the features, like what's in the product, right? Like is it safe to use, all this stuff. But always lead with the benefits and then follow up with the features.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. So I want to show everybody who's watching this as well a post-purchase upsell, lifted AOV by 10% minimum. Oh, so I mean, I've been working with you guys for the past couple of months, and one of the things you guys definitely kind of drilled into my head is like AOV, LTV, all these different things. And AOV, for those who not too familiar with the term, average order value, and LTV is lifetime value of the customer. So these things are very, very important when it comes to running Facebook ad campaigns, because at the end of the day, if you can spend $1 and the person's going to spend, $3 with you over their lifetime, then that's a good campaign. But if you're spending $1, they only end up spending $1 back, and you have all the other costs and product costs and Facebook costs and all these different costs, it's not going to make any sense. So one of the best ways to challenge that is by lifting up the AOV as well as the LTV. So right now, we see 3 examples of your post-purchase upsells, and these are the things that you can do super easily to lift up the AOV. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to discuss this too much.
It's actually a sequence, right? Like there's a sequence of what we choose to present as the first offer, and then what happens if they say yes or no to the first offer, and then what we show them afterwards, right? So we typically like to have like a descending order in terms of what's descending order. So like we go from the highest price to the lowest price, okay, in terms of upsells. For example, in the main purchase on the sales page, the actual sales page is $29.99. Let's just say $30, right? So they bought it, okay? They already sold on buying the product. They are sold on the benefits of the product. So then the logical first upsell is like, okay, get this a second unit for a good discount, right? Because you're gonna need it, right? This is gonna run out in 2 months. You're gonna need it. Stock up, right? Stock up right now. And then if they say yes, amazing. Because actually a lot of people say yes to a second unit of the same product. If they say yes, perfect. Then we offer them like bigger upsell. Well, not a bigger upsell, but we have a few upsells and downsells, right? So bigger in terms of the value or the cost of it. So for example, if you look at the middle one, it says Beauty Duo, right? It's like $14.99, right? It's like, okay, pretty cheap compared to the main purchase. So in their mind, they're not going to be like, wow, I have to spend another $30 to buy these accessories. It's like, okay, it's pretty cheap. It's still impulsive, right? They look at this offer, it's like, I'm saving $5 on this combo and whatever, it's only $15. Let's add to it. Let's make the experience better, because these things are actually complementary to the main offer. Right? If they say no to that, then we'll offer them the cheapest upsell, which will be a downsell here, right? It's only $3.99 if you can see at the bottom right corner in pink.
Right.
Yeah, it's only $3.99. And the reason why it is so cheap that we can offer this at such a cheap price is because obviously the unit price is very cheap, right? Just the brush, right? It's like $1 or something like that. And when we package it to ship out to our customer with the main unit, it doesn't really add to the shipping cost. So, you still make like $4 or something like that, $4. And that helps with recuperating on the cost per acquisition end.
No, that makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. So guys, I know people's attention span are not very long these days, right? But what I want to do now is for those who stay till the very end, first things first, if you got value out of this video, which I'm sure you have, if you didn't, then your expectations are probably set a little bit too high. You can find another YouTube channel to follow, another podcast. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm sure like this is really, really valuable information. And thank you all so much for actually showing us instead of just like telling us theory, and you're teaching based on experience and really showing us what you've done that worked for you. So now I'll take over the last little bit. So as you guys know, I have a beauty company as well. And this year, our main goal is to build our revenue off of Amazon. We're working with Sebastian and Chris for that. So Sebastian and Chris owns a agency called Vici. So they are, one thing I would say about them, and this is just a honest review from like, and again, I'm not getting any commission. And if you guys want to pay me later, like that's fine. We can do that. Work something out, but I'm not getting a commission to say this. I'm not getting any sort of affiliate or anything like that. Okay. I started working with them about 4 months ago for some local workshop stuff. I've been doing a lot of Amazon workshops in Vancouver, and we started working with our beauty brand with them a couple months ago as well. So all I can say is that they actually care about the results that they're getting you. I work with other agencies in the past where they're like, yeah, I'll just take you on. Don't worry. Like, here's a $2,000 per month retainer and give me this, give me that. We'll just start running ads. For them, it's like very, very specific. They're like, we will not start running ads for you until you've given us X, Y, and Z. They will even turn away people that are selling just random products because they know that this product is probably not going to convert very well on Facebook. So the point I'm trying to make is they want to win with you. If they cannot make you money, or if they feel like they're not confident to make you money, they would actually just straight up tell you like, you're not the right client for us, because even if we take you on, you're not going to see a return on investment. And I think that part alone speaks very, very highly of who they are as people, who they are as business owners, and what their intention is, right? So I'm just going to leave it at that, because I think that really speaks louder than any other things. And plus, they have experience in actually running offers for e-commerce, which a lot of my audience are looking at right now. It's mostly e-commerce Amazon sellers. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you are in the position to reinvest some of your cash flow, you're sitting on a lot of cash right now, you have no idea what to do with it, and you want to expand your product off of Amazon, you want to start getting your customers, you want to have influencer campaigns and this and that, I would highly, highly, highly recommend for you to touch base with Chris. Chris is more the customer facing side. Chris, what is the best email, or what is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Okay, yeah. Is there going to be a link below, like later on, probably, right, on YouTube?
Yeah, there will be a link below, but you can just tell people what your email is.
Yeah, it's Chris, like CHRIS, at wearevici.com. So WEAREVICI.com. Vici is like whatever.
Yeah, Vici. VICI.com. So Chris at wearevici.com. And again, I'll link that down below as well. And again, they're not here to just take on anyone and everyone. They're here to work with very specific customers who they see a potential in, and they see that they can actually take their product and run with it. But at the same time, you do need to work with them as well. It's a very much of a two-way street. Give them creatives, do what they say. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So gentlemen, I appreciate you guys taking the time to speak with me. I think we've all learned lots. And any last words for the listeners?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Tom, for inviting us onto this interview. We really appreciate it. It's been very, very fun. And I just want to say, if you guys are interested in taking your product onto Facebook, you're welcome to hit us up. And we're always here to help. Like, even if we don't become clients and consultants, we're happy to give you guys some feedback and look at your site just to let you guys know what needs to be improved if you want to be able to convert on Facebook or whatever, on Shopify. Yeah.
I'll add you guys to my Facebook to my Ecom Hub group as well. So you guys, I'll make a post, and I'm sure tons of people are going to ask you questions. Sebastian, any last words?
Yeah, if people want to ask questions in the group, like they can just tag us. We're always happy to help. Like, we don't need to get anything out of it. Like, we've helped so many people over the years. Like, we're happy to. And I want to thank you, Tom, for having us here and sharing your time with us. Like, you asked some very great questions. I think your audience will get a lot of value out of this. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. No problem at all. I'll send Chris an invoice later to his personal, not Vici though, to his personal. Just joking. All right, guys. Okay, so if you watched all the way till the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for actually doing that. And how you can support me is by liking the video and commenting and subscribe and all that type of stuff. You know, I need to get my numbers up. So more subscribers, please. That would be awesome. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much. Good luck on your e-commerce journey. Again, it's an incredible time to be alive, and appreciate you guys coming on the show again. And I will talk to everybody very, very soon.
Hey
Hey, thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. Really hope you got a lot of value from this. And if you are interested in watching more, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And if you've seen till the end, give your boy a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I will see you in the next video.